Hello and welcome to another video, this time on the German mark once again. We'll be going through German banknotes from 1908, I believe, until the hyperinflation of the early 1920s. This is an era with many varieties of banknotes, mostly issued due to the inflation during this time. We can start off with the lower denominations, which we have here. I will excuse the sunlight, by the way. I usually make these videos in the evening. These are folded. Here we got a 5 mark banknote, a 5 mark. If you want to be very specific, I believe it's not actually really a true banknote, even though it was of course used like one. But you can see that the spelling above the 5 mark there, however you pronounce that, makes it some kind of bond note, redeemable for money, actual money. But like I said, it was used as a banknote. This one was issued on, I believe it says, the 5th of August 1914. So at the same time as the start of the First World War. And I believe it says down there in text that it is punishable with prison time forging these banknotes. Now most of these were plenty and printed like mad during the inflation years. So there are very many of them in very bad condition. We're moving forward. And here is a 10 mark banknote. It's also one of these, here you can see it easier, Reichsskaffenschein. Gesetz von 30th of April 1874. So 1874 years law. And the 5th of June 1906, 10 mark, Berlin, the 6th of October 1906. Obviously circulated banknotes. We also have, this one is a proper banknote, if you want to make that distinction. Really folded. As you can see, it says Reichsbanknote, banknote of the realm, 20 mark, 20 marks. The 19th of February 1914. So half a year prior to World War I. So this was probably not issued due to the war. But the other ones issued 1914, 1916 and so on were probably due to the war. But we also have another 20 here. 20 mark. This has something else, but this is also a Schaffen chain. Yeah. So a bond note though, redeemable for money, but in practice used as a regular banknote. The 20th of February 1918. So this was issued in the last year of the World War. Been folded in two sides. So I actually forgot that I don't have all of the banknotes that I was supposed to show on the table, but I shall fix that. Next we have this 50 mark Riksbanknote, colored in green, issued of the 24th of June 1910, or at least that is when the type is designed and introduced. Then often they could continue to be printed afterwards. So I think it's, I mean, there is probably specific literature on this to discover the particular times for when these were actually printed, but well, prior, during and sometime after World War I. That will say 1910 to 1922. And as with the other ones, Verbanknoten Nachtmarscht ober verkställt, ober Nachtgemasche oder Verschlichte sich Verschafft und the sun is also preventing me from reading this, and I'm not really knowledgeable in German, so I'm just trying to pronounce it. Verker bringt wird mit. That looks like a free, so öfters nicht unter 2 Jahren bestraft. Punishable by 2 years in prison. but that I know since I researched these banknotes beforehand. So that's a really good condition 50 mark banknote from at least the type introduced in 1910. And then we shall do this in the proper order, because I got plenty of 100 mark banknotes. So we will do them in order. Here we have the first type of 100 mark banknote, Riksbanknote, 100 mark, introduced on the 7th of February 1908. So this is a, well, decent sized, not overly large banknote for 100 mark. And they have really pretty design. And here is when I can introduce the seal discussion. That we might compare that, for example, this one has a green seal, that one has a red seal, and then that one has a green seal again, and then that one has a red one. So what I think this mean, but I'm no expert on the matter, but according to my research, the red seal banknotes are the original series, often before World War One and probably during World War One, and that the green seal banknotes are produced afterwards, after perhaps late World War One or after World War One, towards the hyperinflation era. So they are much more common, the green seal banknotes, because they were produced by a lot in the inflation era. But that the red original ones from printed earlier are rarer, because 100 mark was worth a lot more when those were printed than later, when they kept printing and printing and printing more, eventually losing their value. So that's the first type of 100 mark. And I don't know why, but for some reason they introduced another much larger 100 mark banknote, which looked like this. This one with a red seal, and of course, like I said, there is the green seals as well. This one dated the 21st of April 1910. It's really pretty, but also absolutely huge, and would be folded, as you can imagine. These ones uncirculated are rather rare, actually, since most are circulated and folded and not that good of a condition. So being a red seal, this might be one of the earlier ones, actually, possibly, or probably still during World War One, but at least it's not hyperinflation era. I should see if I can fetch a green seal one as well. I might only be having red seal ones left. Well done. But after World War One, we had yet again another issue of 100 mark. 100 mark. Once again, a smaller, more rectangular banknotes, if we compare. Oh, wrong way. This one issued on the 1st of November 1920. So it has been almost 2 years since the end of World War One, and it's a Reichsbanknote, proper banknote. And these only have one color of seal. I believe that's not even a proper seal, that's part of the design. Also in excellent condition. And finally, before we move into hyperinflation territory, I believe these ones were issued as far back as 1874. It was the highest denomination of the German mark, 1000 marks, 1000 mark. A large banknote. This particular type is dated 21st of April 1910. But the earlier ones with basically exactly the same design have the dates 1874 and 1890s and so on. So it's not earlier than 1910 because then it would say so. But these would be continued to be printing throughout the 1910s and the 1920s without changing the dates. And here, like I said earlier, you can see that with the seals, that a green seal meaning that it's a later issue, while a red seal indicates it's an earlier issue, with the red seals being worth a bit more. But it's yet again a matter of quality. And in the middle you have, of course, the Prussian eagle. The leading state of the German Empire. Yeah. And next to it we have, of course, the exactly same banknote but with red seals and the same date, but because it has a red seal being an earlier issue. So we can put this to the side. And yet this is far from a complete collection. But it can be considered like an introduction to German banknotes of this era. We're moving forward. We can start off with this banknote. We have gone from 1000 as the highest denomination. Here we have a 20,000, 20,000 mark. A proper banknote, not a bond. Issued on the 1st of July 1923, which was the year of absolutely terrible inflation. So rather small and simple design. Because they weren't really used for that long before yet again being outdated and basically worthless due to the inflation that just kept growing. By the same year, we had gone from 20,000 to 50 miljonen mark, issued on the 1st of September 1923. I'm not as really good in German, but something from the 1st of January 1924. Yeah. 50 million marks. And of course we have the forge this and you get 2 years in prison text, as with many of the banknotes. On the other side It's simply blank. Yeah. From 20,000 to 50 million. And as I said, there are so many banknotes in this era. If you go on a page, a website like Numista, and check out the number of banknotes, it's truly ridiculous how many there are. And to get a complete collection, while some are impossibly rare, but getting even close to complete some large collection even is pretty difficult because there's so many of them, and then we're not even counting all the local emergency banknotes that also appeared. But the high point of my collection, which I have owned for some years now and have shown off before, is of course the 10 banknote, the 10 mark banknote. That's what they want you to think. But it's 10 billion. Miljard being billion in German and Swedish for that matter. Sign miljarden. 10 billion marks. Zahlt die Reichsbank Hauptkasse in Berlin gegen diese Banknote dem Einlieferer von 1st of January 1924 ab kann diese Banknote aufgegeben und unter Umtausch gegen andere geistliche Soundsmittel eingezogen werden. Berlin. Yeah. If I get an interesting explanation for the text, I will put that on screen. Yeah. September. Which was the old one? 1st of September, and this was the 15th of September. Of course, these could just be like the old 5 mark banknote, and this could be like the new 100, I guess, or the new 10. They quickly became so worthless that there were no point in using them at all, which just kept the inflation growing even higher. Print and print more. Just print more, that will solve every problem. What was the highest denomination? Also truly some ridiculous. Since actual biljonen in German would translate to trillion, I think, in English. I mean, and I think that was the highest banknote in the end. That's like how many zeros? Like 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 zeros perhaps. A lot. I can put the number of actual zeros for the highest German banknote that were produced in this era. It was a lot. By 1924, they had changed over to the Reichsmark, a new currency, which I believe was backed by gold and actually stable, unlike this this era of absolute madness. Well then, thank you for watching.